this is chapter 7.3, excuse me, using p-values with the t-test. The American Automobile Association claims that the mean daily meal cost for a family of 4 traveling on vacation in Florida is $118. A random sample of 11 such families has mean daily meal cost of $128 with a standard deviation of $20. Is there enough evidence to reject the claim at alpha equals 0.10, and you're going to assume again that the population is normally distributed? Okay, first of all, this is a two-tailed test because here we're trying to see if it is equal to 118. So here's the null hypothesis and here's the alternative, because you always put equal if it says is. If it says less than, you put a less than sign. If it says greater than, you put a greater than sign. And this is always going to be the opposite, which is not equal to. So the sample mean is 128, the standard deviation is 20, the sample is 11. And since n is less than 30, we're not going to use a z-test, we're going to use a t-test. And we're assuming, because of what it said, that the population is normally distributed. Alright, so from there, we're going to go to stats and then test, and we're going to select 2, which is the one under z-test. We're going to select t-test. So we're going to choose stats for your input. We're not doing data because I don't have anything listed in L1. I do, but it's left from another problem. Then we're going to fill in the appropriate information. Alright, and when we get ready to do this, we're going to choose at the bottom the two-tailed alternative hypothesis, which is not equal to. So let's go to the calculator, and we're going to go to stat, over to test, and down to t-test. And remember, we're doing this because it's such a small n, it's 11. So I'm going to go to stats because I'm using stats and not data. And I'm going to move that down, and when I do, my sample is 118, or I'm claiming that that's what it's going to be from my null hypothesis. So let me move this over so you can see the numbers. So that's where I got the 118 from. I have a mean of 128. So I'm going to put 128 here. And I have a standard deviation of 20. I have an n of 11. And that's the correct two-tailed alternative hypothesis. And if I choose calculate, it's going to give me my p-value. If I choose draw, it's actually going to draw the graph for me. So I'm going to look at the p-value instead of the graph. But if you're doing a problem that you need a graph for, of course you would do draw, and it will do that for you. But you can't do both at one time. You'd have to come back and do that. So I'm going to press enter. And when I do, you'll see that my p-value is 0.128. So the p-value is 0.128, and remember, I'm comparing that to 0.10. So we're going to come back here, and after I find my p-value, it's 0.128. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to say 0.128 is greater than 0.10. So that's greater than, and whenever it's greater than, you fail to reject your null hypothesis. And you'll find in the book where it tells you, how do you know to fail to reject it, or whether you accept it or whatever, and you'll find that in the book.